All right, 2016 Chrysler Town and Country. Um, Basically, what we've got going on here is we had a horrendous knocking noise. Customer actually brought it in for an AC complaint on this one. Um, what I ended up finding is once you turned on the AC and it would engage, it would make just a horrendous noise. But the noise that was coming wasn't from the compressor. I mean, it was a horrible noise, so they were right to bring it in. But what it ended up being was actually the flex plate was cracked on this one. And I'll take you guys over here. And we've currently got the engine and the transmission separated. We've got them both supported. Somehow managed to catch my phone. And you might have got to see my beard. I don't know. We'll post it. And then find out then. So, you can see it's cracked and broken. There, there, and there. And I have not unbolted this yet. Everybody is tight, but this entire flex plate is moving. And of course my body's moving with it. Let's see if I can steady this camera on something. And that's like minimal pressure. So, gotta love it. But long story short, after discussing it with them, giving them pricing, they agreed to do it. Should just be a quick, easy pull and replace. As to why the flex plate broke, initially I was confused. I believe I have found the culprit, however. And if I can find it, what it ended up being, and I did get a video of it before I pulled the transmission out, but there is an electrical piece. Where is he? There's a bracket, and you can actually see the witness mark right there where it was actually smashed between the spacer plate and the transmission bell housing. So what that did is that put a whole bind on this transmission. Because that bracket was caught, whoever installed it didn't do the right job or didn't do the right thing and pull it back apart. As to how they caught it, there he is right there. See that gray connector right there? Or I should say harness retaining pin. And I'm sure that Chrysler calls it something entirely different. But this is the bracket. This is the guy that he goes into right there. He slides into there, and then that is supposed to go over top of a stud on the bell housing that's supposed to sit up here. But what happened was, and I'm sure there was probably some Chrysler shenanigans in engineering this thing, like, hey, let's see how many guys we get with this. But regardless, what ended up happening is that bracket facing that way got smashed right there. And if you look, you can even see the pattern. Yep, you can even see the bell housing. Those lines and the hole, that shows you exactly where it was sitting. That is what is referred to as a witness mark, because it was smashed together. So instead of taking it apart, all they did is ran it down with all the bolts, snugged everything up, smashed everything together. Well, what it's done is it put a bind between the engine. Sorry, I'm laying on my side trying to get this video for you guys. Is basically it put a bind between the engine and the transmission, and ended up ultimately, here, I'll give you a whack here, breaking the flex plate. So next up, I'll pause this here because I haven't done this yet, but we're going to pull out the converter and inspect the converter. Also, when I pull the flex plate off, I'll need to inspect the crank, make sure there's nothing going on. A good-ish and-ish sign is maybe a limited amount of oil coming down between, and this could be older oil. I've not seen any massive drips. I've had this car here for a couple of days, ran it a number of times, and this definitely sounded like rod knock for sure, and chain slap and all kinds of ruckus, and the noise just kept continually getting worse and worse and worse. And it was never consistent. It was always a different noise, and under different circumstances, it would do different things, but this is making a lot more sense. Oh, there you go. Now you can really see it. And all of these are torqued. These are all torqued down tight. And you can see that entire flex plate is separated. That is destroyed. So I asked the customer, all right, who did it? Where'd it come from? Big O Tires, if you can believe it. Doing transmissions now. It's little things, guys. It's the little things. I don't care who you are. If you're doing work, you're working on your own stuff, working on anything. Like, I'm not going to hate on you just because you work at Big O, but like, life lesson here, attention to detail. Could have kept this thing on the road. And the crazy thing about this entire thing, which does have me a little bit suspicious of this entire thing. And where's the mark? Oh, the camera won't let it show it. There is, oh, there it is. See if I can get the glare from that shiny aluminum. Yep, you can see right where the bracket was laid up. Right there. Thank you for finally autofocusing. So far, I haven't noticed any cracks. The only nice thing about this entire ordeal is that aluminum is fairly soft. And there's a chance that some of it might have smashed out or smushed out of the way versus cracking the case. So still got more to inspect. Give me just a minute here. I'll pull this converter out and take a look, see what's going on inside of there, make sure the front pump's okay, and hang on. So, good news. Not familiar with that one. Would love to be clued in. Yeah, don't know that symbol. I get the cross. Maybe it's a Jesus fish. I'm not gonna guess because I've never seen that before, so I couldn't tell you what that is. Regardless, I hope that's not related. Let's see here. So the splines all looking really, really good. Not seeing anything significant or anything I'm too concerned about or worried about. All looking good there. The case itself, I'm not seeing any cracks. I'm not seeing any impacts. That right there appears to be more of machining marks to get the converter to fit versus anything else. Overall looking super clean in here. The fluid, well, it's right there. It's caught up in a bunch of grease. It's actually been pretty clean. Rather quite impressed with it. Granted, transmission's only been in for, what, since 22? It's now 25. So somehow this thing lived 3 years before it snapped that flex plate. Might be related, might not be. I don't know. But overall, hopefully a good sign for the customer that we don't need to replace this. Being that it's been 3 years, it very well may be out of warranty. So still got to pull the flex plate off, but I think I'm going to cut this video off at that. Good rule of thumb. Attention to detail. I'm going to leave you with attention to detail. And if you do see something like that, pull it out. There's a reason this surface is machined. If there are spacer plates, Chrysler uses these. Ford uses them on almost everything. If that plate is missing, that's going to cause a world of hell, including and potentially, forgive my language there, potentially breaking the input shaft. So that was or not the input shaft, the front pump or the input shaft. So this is all looking good. There's supposed to be a minimal amount of play there. Not the front pump inside, I can see it. I don't know that everything is a-okay. I did have a core of one of these that I potentially could have compared it to. And I believe the ears, if this camera will focus, are right there. Right where you see that dark line coming across, that's right where the pump engages, the converter engages. I'm not seeing any witness marks here of any impact of any sort. And what you'll see sometimes, not always, is that if this doesn't get fully installed, sometimes if it's not fully seated, what'll happen is, and if you put the engine and the transmission together, you will break the front pump. inside of here. You'll push it in and you'll either punk into it and shatter it, and it depends on, you know, which vehicle and which transmission. But a lot of the times that front pump is what dies, not always. But if ever you're putting an engine and a transmission together, once you get them lined up, before you've tightened any bolts, once the two of them are lined up and everything's squared away, you need to check that converter and make sure that that converter is free moving, right? And you can have a couple bolts in there finger tight, you know, bringing it together. Just when you're ready to start applying torque and you're ready to tighten it down, there had better be play in that converter. You'd better be able to stick your finger through one of these holes, especially these access holes, and move that converter around. Sometimes you don't quite have the right torque and the right angle to get the right, to be able to push on the converter. Screwdrivers, even like get creative, a rubber pencil, something that's got enough grip to grab the metal and push on it, on the face of the converter. And if it spins freely, you're good to go. If it won't move and it's bound up, and you can't even get a screwdriver lined up through one of the holes, and you try to turn the engine over and the converter is just bound to it and spinning with it, you need to immediately stop and separate that engine and transmission. It could already be too late most of the time. If you catch it then and the vehicle never starts, you might be okay, so long as you haven't ran all of your bolts down and smashed the two of them together. So another thing to be aware of doing this job, or any transmission for that matter, is make sure your converter is fully seated. There is a measurement of, basically you take a flat bar and you go across this, across the case, the face of the case, and then you measure in from that bar to the snout, that guy, of the converter. And there's a seating depth. And sometimes that measurement is to one of the bolt faces or the nut faces on the face of the converter. But that needs to be set. And then as you're going in with the transmission, make sure that everything gets lined back up. That converter didn't fall out. And so a lot of times what I like to do is like have a spot like this where I can feel where that converter's at. And I know that, hey, that converter should be sitting flush with the case, or normally it's never flush with the case. It's always recessed down in. But once you have that measurement and then you have that set, you know, pay attention to where the converter is sitting, because it's very easy for that to slide and drop and fall out. Different cars require different amounts of effort. This one's not too horrendous. Others like this, Focus, Versa, anything that the the C-channel, not anything. There's still some of those that you do need to pull the subframe on, but you'll notice on this Chrysler Town & Country, the subframe is still in the car. The exhaust is still hooked up. We have not drained any fluids of any sort. The customer did not want the pan dropped. They simply wanted the flex plate replaced. We have now inspected everything, including, I don't want to say potential Jesus fish, because I'm pretty sure that's not the Jesus fish, but regardless, we should be a-okay to install the new torque converter once it gets here, or the new flex plate, and put this thing back together. So have a good one, you guys.